Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Colin, for inviting me. I appreciate being here, and thank you all for joining and listening in. As I mentioned, my name's Stacie Sourasinth. I'm with Loram, and Loram is a leading supplier of track maintenance, machinery, and equipment. Today, I'd like to speak a little bit about the challenges that Loram has faced over the years of trying to maintain this equipment in remote areas. And the picture that I have here is of Hell's Gate, British Columbia. And these are some of the areas that we work in. It's very remote. There's not a lot of cell service, and cell service is a very integral part of our business. So without that service, our connectivity to our sites, which are moving trains that manage the tracks and do the maintenance on that equipment, it can cause a lot of problems. It can be a life or death situation. You can imagine being on some equipment, something goes wrong, you put your hand in the place where it shouldn't belong, and next thing you know, you're looking for an ambulance to come get you. You're in the middle of nowhere, and there is no cell service. All the equipment is equipped with satellite service, so as long as the equipment is not moving, you can use satellite. But other than that, you're really reliable on cellular. So we've developed some different strategies on how to maintain the equipment the best we can and track that information, but also provide the operators with the necessary tools to keep the equipment up and running over years. Let me see. Oh, here's my... Here we go. Give you a little background about Loram. Loram was founded in 1954. We're now one of the leading suppliers of track maintenance machinery in North America and the global market. Our main office is in Hamill, Minnesota. Carroll Stream is another small office we have. It's outside of Chicago. And Derby, UK is a new office that we have in the UK area. We employ about 1,000 employees. Give you some idea about our platforms that we have. Our rail grinding equipment is our main platform. This is where they grind away a portion of the track to form it back into a specific profile for the customer. This also keeps the track working longer, and it also helps maintain the safety of the rails. Our ballast service equipment, it's used to clean the ballast from the ends to the outer edge of the ballast section. It removes the material, it sifts the fines out, and then returns the ballast material back to the ballast area. Our ditch cleaning service will extend the life of the ballast and will help direct away the water from the tracks. Our rail vac system, and you can see that in this picture here, this will remove the material that's compressed in between the ties, and we can replace it with good ballast material. Sorry, I gotta get a drink. My throat is really dry. We also have rail handling equipment, which will deliver large sections of continuous rail. And then we also have track quality machines and diagnostic machines. These travel in front of the rail grinding equipment. It reads the profile and then transmits that data to the rail grinding equipment so that they can properly grind away the rails. And then the rail grinding equipment reads the track one more time and verifies the profile was done properly. Finally, our kind of new area is friction management. This area provides friction management lubrication to the track itself as the train moves along. Let's see. There we go. I'll just go over a little bit about our different operations that we have. Our fleet operations, it's simple. We have about 600 employees that manage the equipment throughout North America and Canada and Mexico, Australia, and Saudi Arabia. There's 70 support technicians. We operate 100 machines. Oh, there we go. All right, our OEM operations, they were established in 2006. We have 75 machines, 20 countries. They produce 16 machines a year, which is quite a few in our small facility that we have. And all of our equipment comes with remote diagnostic equipment. It allows technicians to dial into the machines and detect any problems that they have on the machines. We can do this as a service to our customers who purchase any of our equipment. Our friction management, I went over this a little bit. It was acquired in 2011. There's 15 employees, 1,300 track shield units we've produced and sold, and we maintain over 250 of them within the U.S. Okay, so this is a map of all of our equipment, just the machines, not the track shield units, the machines throughout the North America and Mexico. And you can see there's a lot of different areas where it's very remote, and where this is where we can lose our connectivity. We have an uptime of about 80% and as high as 95% in some areas. That equates to maybe about 1 day a week, and could you imagine your office being without internet connection 1 day out of the week? Every day you come in, okay, I can't get an email from my customer, I can't send them an email, and I can't look up anything on the internet, and I definitely can't buy anything off of Amazon today. So, so that's how these people are feeling. Their equipment is down, and it can be down for multiple days in a row, and then they can be back in a cellular area where it's working. So what we've correlated this to is basically the Internet of Things only work if you're connected. And as long as you have that connection, it's good. But when you're up in the mountains in Canada, you're out of luck. So we have some strategies that we've worked to try to keep our units up and running and work with that disconnected state as much as we can. Our FM units are the first things that we've tried to do that are new. And here we've purchased, about a year ago, we looked at some different softwares, and we decided to go with a mobile application provided by IFS to use for the field technicians so that they can document exactly what they're replacing on our FM units. A lot of times the FM units are damaged by the environment, lightning, bad storms, lots of rain, but they're also vandalized a lot. So we like to document that information. We like to tell our customers, this is what we did to your unit. This is why we're charging you X amount of money to maintain it, because it does not always stay the way you expect it to be. And our mobile applications are a vital part of that. It's easy for the field service techs to use. They can easily access the data that they need and document the parts that they used and take pictures of what the equipment looked like before and take pictures of what the equipment looked like after. All of our FM units, they come equipped with cellular or satellite, depending on which one you purchased. And we also collect all the data from the FM units so we can detect when the friction modifier lubricant is low, and then we can go out there and service that data, or service that unit, sorry. Our connection strategy for our machines has basically been around cell service. We need to have that. Without it, we're really lost. But there is a satellite service, and we do have that on most of our machines. The one thing about the satellite service is the machines must not be moving. So that means that your facility is basically down. You're out of service. You're not moving along the tracks. You're not getting paid. You're not making any money. So we want to keep that as much as we can up, but there's always times where you have to stop. A lot of the data that we collect happens to come from the 2,000 PLCs that we have on each of our machines. They collect over 100 megabytes of data every day and send that back to our main office. And we also have DVRs on all the equipment, and this allows the technicians and the operators to communicate back and forth to each other and identify the parts that are needed to be replaced or any questions about the equipment that they might have. We use an internally built CMMS system to track all of our work order maintenance and our parts. Oh, there we go. So our lessons learned. What have we learned over the years? We've learned that we have to allow for a disconnected state. There's no option there. We're not into the cellular business. We're not going to build any cell towers in Canada. So with that, we have to have software that also automatically replicates all the data back to the office. This is a must without it. Needs to pick up, it needs to be seamless. And the other thing that we need to have is more durable hardware. It's very important to have that hardware. A lot of times the operators are in areas where it's dirty and it's dusty and the equipment drops and it breaks. We have to have very durable hardware. We go through a lot of iPhones. Everybody's dropping their iPhone and needing a new one. So that's very important to us, that the equipment is very durable. And lastly is simplistic mobile applications. We have the PLC understanding now. We've done it for years, but we need to move on to make the people that operate these units remotely and keep them connected to the office. And we can only do that through mobile applications. And those mobile applications need to be simple to use. These operators are not your general office people. They're not engineering people. They're only going to use the application a certain amount of time, and then they go back to running the equipment. So we've had to develop and come up with more mobile applications for them. And over the coming years, that's what we plan to do. This next year, we plan to implement more mobile applications, upgrade our CMMS system within our operations division, and also provide some better ways for them to communicate back to the main office to keep them safe. Thank you. My speech is very short, but thank you so much. Thank you.